Hey, beautiful souls, welcome back or welcome to The Hawk and I. My name is Lana Zelinsky and I work in the spirit dimensions. As always, and on my videos or on my live feeds, simply take what resonates and you're welcome to leave the rest right here. How are we? Happy Wednesday. Yes, I have enjoyed some extra downtime. It was a long weekend here, and I added one more day to my weekend. I added yesterday to it, and I'll tell you, it was absolutely glorious. I'm happy to be back. I am going to jump right into the energy update. I do have to be mindful of the time because I am working this morning, and I'm grateful. So let's jump right into the energy, and if I have time, I will grab a few questions from the chat. So the energy that is floating around, and I'm curious to know if some of you have been feeling it, is the desire to nourish and support yourself. There is a thirst for positive change, and it's coming through over the month of July at a very heightened recharge, regenerate, nurture yourself. Authentic freedom was the words that Spirit gave me with this need to be authentically yourself, taking the time that you need and being able to kind of breathe through that. There's also a little bit of exhaustion energy that's floating around. Perhaps you're getting a little bit more tired lately, or tired easier, or wanting more sleep, or wanting a little bit more private time. And the reason that you're feeling that way, part of the reason is I'm sure some of it's scheduling as well, but the big part of it energetically is the need to support and nourish yourself, the need to step back and say, okay, I can change directions whenever I want on this journey. I am in control of how I feel. Where is my glass? Half full, half empty. There's a slowdown to let some of this energy kind of integrate and kind of absorb into you. We're always in this fast pace, right? There's also a big open energy. It's and I when I felt that coming in with my channeling this morning, it was huge. It was like this huge openness, this huge, I think I can change how I think about that. I think I'm okay with altering what I think. I don't have to stay on the same path all the time. That's how it felt coming in. We can change the script, we can change our belief systems, we can change our outlook. We have that power to kind of settle in and kind of breathe a little bit differently whenever we want. I also felt this, and I love when I feel this, and I feel it every now and again come in with this welcome home, welcome back to you, welcome into reflection. Look how far you've come. Lean into that a little bit. The stepping out of people pleasing is going to be huge this week and into next week. And just being able to say, you know what, I just can't do it all. And it's okay, that less of that guilt, that less of that drive to make everybody around you happy. And when we often navigate through some of that energy, we pull some guilt in. Right, we just pull a little bit of that. I couldn't do that for them. I didn't make them happy. I can't spread myself so thin this week. And there was quite a big push to just acknowledge that you can't do it all. And sometimes it has to be about you, and it has to be about your rest and that deep personal dive. We are diving in very personal in July. July feels very deep and very personal, but in a very good, positive, supporting, nourishing space. The other thing that came forward during my meditation this morning with Spirit is things that no longer resonate with us, things that we've been thinking about. I think I don't want to do that anymore. The microphone got handed to me. It's going to be very loud. It's going to be very trying to shift you, trying to shake you up a little bit, and it's going to start subtle. So you may be having little subtle thoughts. I don't think I want to go to that place anymore. I don't think I want to have that experience anymore. It's going to be very subtle. And then when we kind of I'm going to use the word neglect or deny ourselves that acknowledgement, the volume will get louder. So it'll just be a little bit louder. And what the energy is saying is it's okay to change. It's okay to shift directions. It's okay to have a different perspective every single day, several times a day. You can change how you look at it. The universe is going to show it to us this month, and it may be very subtle. It doesn't have to be those great big aha moments. It may be very subtle that I need to take an hour to myself every day. It can't be that subtle. So it doesn't necessarily mean loud all the time. It just means that this month it's going to be about support yourself, nourish yourself, breathe a little bit. You know what what doesn't serve you, it's okay to not lean back into that. We don't have to go back to old patterns or old belief systems, or into that space of always being pleasing people and not pleasing ourselves, and to be able to feel good even just for a moment a day. Now, I want to lean back into the tired feeling, because I think that for many of us, and if we don't acknowledge that, and if we don't have that space to just kind of rest and retreat in, that tiredness and that, that physical stiffness and that physical, headache and that physical, all those little minor things are going to kind of like say poke, 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 poke. And that's how it felt. Poke, 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 poke. You just need to breathe. You just need to like watch the moon come up, or the sunrise, or the sunset, or just listen. Like, I feel that's coming in louder and louder as the month trickles on, because of the supportive energy that's trying to say to you in the month of July, the universe has your back. The universe is holding you in that space. The universe is holding you while you learn. The universe is holding you while you grow. And all these things that you kind of like working through, whether it be thoughts or situations or things that you want and things that you don't want. The universe is saying, just feel me. Just feel that energy. Just let it infuse into your vibrations. Just kind of take a moment to pause and feel that. The physical world is very busy. You don't need me to tell you that. We all know that. It's very busy here. It's always, it's always grabbing you by the hand, go this way, go that way, do this, do that. The physical world's always kind of like grabbing at us. The spiritual world is also has their hand out in a very gentle way, with just kind of saying, here I am. Here's the energy. And we have the choice and free will on whether or not to lean into it. And when we don't lean into it, our body and our soul kind of pokes at us a little bit with, can you just breathe? Can you just take this infusion? Can you just move into that healing and deeper self compassion space for yourself, even if it's just momentarily, even if it's just for a second or two? The universe is going to be hollering at us this month at a lot. It's at a louder microphone, because the microphone showed up during my meditation. Is I've got you. Nourish yourself, recharge. That healing energy is always there, but there's something about this month that's going to push us into really embracing that, really making it part of our daily routine. And even if it's something as simple as looking out your window at night and just looking at the stars and saying, I feel the universe holding me. I feel that energy. And being able to be open to receive. That's the biggest thing, is sometimes we don't take a moment to be able to open up to receive it. We know it, we know it, we know it, right? It's just like that we all know we need to drink more water, right? We know it. And but we don't refill the water bottle every day, or we don't sip on it as often as we need to, even though we know it. So with July, we know that spirit, in the universe, and we know we have that choice of positive energy and being able to do some self-reflection and that spiritual self-care. We know all that. July just handed us a microphone to say it's here. It's here. And it feels like such an authentic freedom kept coming up. That authentic space to be who you are, that authentic space really just kind of like put itself under this big magnifying glass to say, I'm here. It's here. You're here. And we can just kind of lean into even the subtle things. It doesn't, I always say to people, it doesn't have to be this great, big, huge spiritual moment or shift, or a conversation with a butterfly for it to matter. It's those subtle things too, that we can just kind of look at the clouds and say, I feel you with me. I feel you with me. I know I'm doing the best that I can. It's about that space. It's about that welcoming in. It's about that shift in perspective. That's going to become louder. Now, one of the things that you can try, if you're feeling the exhaustion, you're feeling that headachy or achy, is you can kind of lean in there just a little bit at a time, and just making that present moment matter. And that's one thing that I really did yesterday. I just watched the waves for a few moments. There were people around me. I just kind of like had my own moment, and just kind of connected there, and just kind of breathed there, and just kind of watched the waves come in and out. And I had my own moment with source energies, with things come and go. Right? Like when you see the waves, things come and go. And I really felt that. And it was literally like a 2-minute thing where I just kind of disconnected from everything that was around me, and I had that my own subtle moment where things come and go, learning comes and goes, right? And it was just watching the waves for 2 minutes on my own, and just kind of putting my focus there. People pleasing energy may be a bit of a thing that surfaces in the next week or two, because that is going to be part of the microphone, is that constant realizing that everyone's at you, and you're not at yourself. That authentic freedom energy is going to be so loud. There we have it. So I haven't looked. I try not to look at the chat when I'm giving you my channeling, just because it can be very distracting for me. So I'm just going to have a scroll up to the top here and see what we're doing. It's good to see so many of you joining me. By the way, I love that. Aaron, yes, I've been exhausted, so very tired. Here we go. Oh, so relatable. 100%. It's taking, for those of you who are feeling that way, just try and take that moment to just tap into something a little bit deeper, or simply talk to the universe, talk to spirit. I know you've got me, and I'm open to nourish myself. It's going to be about nourishing ourselves. Yes, I find my son very exhausted and wanting to chill all day. That's the energy that's presenting through July. So sometimes we can, I'll smirk too, because I have done it in the past, especially if you see other people relaxing or just kind of wanting to chill. We kind of push them with, like, stop being lazy, or you got to be productive. Being productive, yes, is important, but it's also just as important to be able to chill sometimes, and being able to put that in balance. So I'm not quite sure how young or how old your son is, but he's having his own moment of realizing that I need to, to chill and recover, whether it be from the school year or from the energy that's around. And the empaths are going to feel this. I talked a lot about the empaths last week. The empaths are really going to feel that needing to nourish and needing to support. So, another thing that pops up is the emotions, wanting to cry, and the emotional piece to it. That it's about us being able to pause and allow that recharge, that nourishing energy, and that support. It's the supportive piece that really struck a chord when I was meditating. It was that supportive piece, and things that need to go, things that need to just kind of be, that doesn't serve me anymore. Let that flow gently. Just allow it to go if it needs to go. All right. Great pics of Fort Erie. Water looked beautiful. Yes, the water was beautiful. Lake Erie. Several years ago, I used to live literally right on Lake Erie. I could open my back patio door, and I was right over the water. Lake Erie has an interesting vibration. Lake Erie can be a grouch, and Lake Erie can be very gentle. And yesterday, she was in the middle. The waves were coming in, but in the distance, the lake looked calm. The sky was cloudy above me, but bright blue halfway across the lake. It's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful energy. I love the water to begin with. Water for me is a big recharge. Spring, it was like the past few weeks, but since surrendering, I'm not nearly as exhausted. Yeah, it's the surrendering piece, right? The other thing that I'm just hearing with from spirit as I'm scrolling through the comments, is sometimes we have to kind of look at our own energy and what responsibility we have in that. We do, and it comes back to that authentic freedom. I just saw the word get written across. Spirit's like, yeah, you're getting it. You're getting that authentic freedom. Sometimes, we have to say, you know what, not mine, not mine. I'm going to lovingly stand here and take my own energetic responsibility and my own space, and just kind of breathe through that, supporting other people from your lane, but allowing the universe to support me, right? That's kind of what that is. Lana, I had such a cozy blanket meditation this morning, as I felt pulled to do so. It was very therapeutic. Absolutely. There's a lot of you mentioning this exhaustion and tired. I find that profound. It just, I don't know why. Spirit still amazes me. The channeling still amazes me. And I've been doing it for a very long time. And I still have that space. I have a Sixth Street cat that I adopted. She was on the verge of death, and now she's recovering, but just a little. Will she be okay? I feel like I'm on the mend, Maruna. I feel like I'm navigating through a little bit of healing there. The only thing that I kind of go like that with is, there's a risk of infection So I don't know if she's got like a wound or if there's something with infection. Just keep an eye on it on that there. It's just like a possibility. But I feel like that cat is well on her way. Um Hi, Lana. Next year, Neptune will move into my first house in conjunction with my moon, as well as my rising. I do love Neptune energy, by the way. I was wanting to know from Spirit's perspective how this will work with me as I'm sensitive already. I feel as I'm reading that is I really feel that you have done a lot of work in the last several months with grounding yourself. And I feel that you're not that sensitive energy, you've learned to balance it, and you've learned to keep a new perspective. I feel that with that sense, and it's great to be sensitive. It truly is. Some people struggle with their sensitivity. It's great to be sensitive, and but it's also great to learn to manage it. And I feel that you have managed a lot of a lot of that sensitivity in such a beautiful balance. When we feel things, and feeling sensitive is a great thing. When we feel things, we move into that feeling or we move out of that feeling and ignore it. I feel like you've done really well with moving into it, acknowledging our feelings and working with that. So I feel like because you've done all that spiritual work with the sensitivity piece, I feel like that learning will just simply continue and it has an easier flow, right? And emotions and sensitivities, they're not a bad thing. Right, it's learning how to move through them, and I felt that you have done so much work with that. Amelia, I went to Bayfield on Monday with my best friend for a beach day. Oh, that's glorious. We went into a town, enjoyed a delicious food, and had a lovely conversation. The energy was so positive. On Tuesday, we both woke up inspired. Amelia, and thanks for sharing that because that's the other side of all of this that I've been talking about today with this, that support and that nourishing and that positive change and creating that space. You and your best friend created that time to be able to go to Bayfield and enjoy that day, and you put everything else in the physical world aside just for the day to enjoy Bayfield. And when we kind of do that, when we nourish and support our authentic freedom, the other side of that, you're right, is inspiration. And and that allowing that spiritual space to kind of move and have a bigger vibration within you. Well done, Amelia. I'm very grateful that you tapped into that. There is, and I just want to say, there is a lot of positive energy in our physical world. There is a lot of beauty here. There is a lot of good and good things happening. And it's about where we want to lean and how we want to grow into that, right? PJ, I asked a while back about my backyard and he mentioned a specific spot I filled with flowers. Curious if it's happy. Also, does my partner and I share a spirit guide? Curious, thank you. I do feel a lot of joy in that spot in your backyard. Flower energy is growth and brightness, and it does shift vibrations. As far as the spirit guide goes, PJ, one thing that I feel like I have to ask you is now I feel like a spirit guide works with both of you. Like the same spirit guide works with both of you, even though you also have your own separate spirit guides as well, but I feel like a unity with one guide. And I feel like there's just that balance that you both lean in on a spirit guide. And I also feel like it's a choice. Like I feel like you choose that partnership and you choose that working together and you choose to lean in on that one specific guide, but it feels like the specific guide, I'm just pulling a little bit more from that question. I feel like it's for very specific things or energies. Like I don't feel like it's just that guide. I feel like it's more of a specific, and I feel like it's more of a learning with the relationship. That's how it feels to me. Ashley, I'm wondering if spirit has any message or guidance for me. I just had a transition in my career and I feel like the transition is coming in other aspects of my life. Actually, the first thing that I need to kind of give you, because I can hear the applaud and the trust level. There seems to be like this huge trust with this transition that you just kind of went, screw it. I'm gonna the going with the flow kind of energy. I feel like, and that was a big one for you. And I feel it's not I must do very well with change. I'm great with change. I love it. I have a bring it on kind of attitude when it comes to change. I feel like I have to say to you that this change is directing you exactly where you need to be, and it's going to direct you, and from there it's going to bring you to another place where exactly where you need to be. And I need to lovingly remind you that you're always where you need to be, and you're always growing forward, and you're always learning the lessons. But I feel like I've got to acknowledge, like you've got to acknowledge yourself, and I did that. I took that leap of faith. I leaned in there with and I did that. So I really feel like I need to get you to kind of use similar wording, Ashley, or just kind of say, you know what, I trusted. I can go with the flow. This is going to bring me where I need to be. And I feel like I just got to just acknowledge yourself a little bit with that. I feel like I've got to just and it comes back into this supporting yourself. I've got to come back into that a little bit with just, yeah, I did that. Sometimes we don't give ourselves that good old pat on the back or that acknowledgement, even, because we're really good at saying, I didn't do that well. We're really good at nitpicking ourselves, aren't we? But we have to kind of put that in the balance with, I did that. I did that. Whether it goes great or not great, I did that, right? I made it through that hard part. I was able to navigate, and this is kind of a more of a collective message now. Is I did that. That was really hard, and I went at it with the best that I could. Or that was easy, and I did really well with that. Like that we need to kind of support ourselves, and July is going to be bringing that nourishing energy to many, many, many of us who are open to receive it. I had a dream that my stepson is being taken advantage of by his girlfriend, my girlfriend's family. Is he? I don't feel an intentional taking advantage of. I feel that he's learning. I feel like they're learning. I feel that I've got to kind of observe, not absorb. I also feel like I have to watch my words here. I feel like I've got to be cautious. So has he been very protective or guarded about any conversation with that? Because I think I feel like I have to lean into those very subtle energy, right? I feel like I've got to get out of the way of his learning. But I don't feel terrible. Like I don't feel like this risk. Like I don't feel like, he's losing anything as far as like money or anything like that. I just feel like I know he's learning and they're learning how to exist with each other. I feel like I just feel like I've got to say observe, don't absorb. Little subtle support with, just again, I feel that if I push too hard here, it's almost like I'm going to use it as I'm not really ready to hear that perspective, and that's okay. Right, it's okay. People go through their own learning plans, and I just have to say that's okay. And I get where you're coming from. We want to protect our family, we want to protect our friends, and I feel like I can do that right from here. Right, I can do that right from here. But I really don't feel terrible with it. Like I don't feel that hard, dark energy with that. Hope that helps you there, Shy. The tired feeling is probably because of the pressure I feel with the move. It's really started to overwhelm me at this point. And moving is be gentle with yourself, Shy. Support yourself through that. Whatever you need to do to breathe through that or to support yourself through that, that energy needs to kind of also have a space around you. You have to go through the move. It's something that's in front of you that you have to navigate through. And is there learning that's going to come with it? Yes. Is there going to be turbulence? Absolutely. Is it going to all be turbulent? No. Is it going to have its benefits? Yes. And so I think when you kind of talk yourself off the ledge, when you kind of like talk yourself through it and interrupting that fear or interrupting that overwhelm, I need to interrupt it. I feel like I got to cut it off. Yeah, you're right. It's going to have moments, but it's also going to have a benefit. It's also going to teach me something. It's also going to. So I need to kind of like have that discussion with that overwhelm. And that can be a huge, because it puts things back in perspective. It can be a huge shift in how you navigate through it. Yeah, I'm going through some turbulent times. Yeah, 100% hard. 100% it's going to have moments where I'm going to question why I did it. But It's also there's also something in that energy that's going to teach me. There's also a forward momentum. There's also going to be some learning. I also feel, Cheyenne, I have to insert, there's also going to be some healing in this. There's going to be that too, right? When we go through turbulent moments or unexpected situations, or when we have to go through something that we really want to resist, there's also the other side of that. Is there something else to learn? I'm learning this. There's going to be some healing energy. I just have to kind of like, the overwhelm is real. Answer the energy back, right? Just kind of answer it back. It's about those scales, right? It's about being able to balance that, because the overwhelm is real. Moving is an overwhelm, even if it's something that has a very exciting piece to it, right? It's still an overwhelm. All right. Spring, is there any guidance from my guides for this month? um Spring, I know that we've had this conversation before. I really feel that that whole working on myself, other people are working on themselves, and just kind of holding space. I'm here, but I'm also working on myself, and giving yourself that permission to shine a little bit brighter, right? Giving yourself the permission to kind of navigate through what matters for you, and what matters for me, as well as everybody else going through their own learning. I also feel like I've got to kind of acknowledge that how well you're doing, because I feel that that doesn't happen often enough for you, and your spirit guides are just saying, you know what, celebrate the small steps for yourself and for other people. Everybody's going through their healing, everybody's doing the best that they can, everybody's learning their lessons, and I feel like I've got to support yourself a little bit more with that nourishing energy that's coming in this month, more of that thirst for positive change and creating that support, that high energy recharge. I feel like I just got to kind of like turn the volume up a little bit on that. And I also feel like I have to say, you are doing so well. So well. It has been a very bumpy ride for you, and you've managed to stay buckled. You've managed to stay buckled as you navigate through that. I also love how much you trust. I need to mention that your trust is incredible, and I love that. And trust can be rattled, trust can be shaken, trust can be grown, and I feel like you're doing so well. Hello from Indonesia. Oh, hello. That's a long way from here. Um, just breathe, says Shaya. Um, Actually, I completely relate to the exhaustion. For me, it was building during June, and I have recently a bad sinus infection last week. I finally got some much needed rest and feel recharged now. Yeah, absolutely. Um, I'm really good at the self-care, and I feel this nourishing energy that I need to go deeper with it. My self-care practices are really, really good, and I need to turn the volume up on it. Right. So, it's always about that growth and going deeper with it. Um, so I love that perspective. You're feeling that recharge. And what I find really interesting, Ashley, is I had some sinus trouble as well, um, over the last couple weeks. And this morning I woke up feeling much better in my sinuses, feeling so much better in my sinuses. And I spent the last couple days recharging, deeper into recharging, like burying my feet in the beach sand. And I went deeper with it. Sometimes we got to go a little bit deeper with it. Um, all right, I gotta watch the time here. Sorry, you guys. I only got a few more minutes left. I'm gonna grab a couple more questions. Rachel, hello everyone. Hello, Rachel. So good to see you. Lan, are there any messages from Spirit about my job? Work want me back in the office full time, but it just stresses me rather than making me productive. So, Rachel, I feel um I I don't feel bad, number one, with going into the office. I don't feel bad at all. Yes, the energy is different, but I also feel that you've done a lot of work energetically and a lot of spiritual growth. And I just have to say, lean into it a little bit more. I really feel, and I get it. I mean, it's a glorious energy not going into the office. It is. And I chuckle because, it's so true. It's good to have that private space. It's good to be able to work from home, but it's also really good to get back into that space. And I feel like I need to just lean into your spiritual practices a bit more, getting yourself grounded before work. If you get a lunch break, being able to separate yourself for a moment, whether it be sitting outside on your lunch break or sitting near a window on your lunch break, disconnecting from the peoply energy, in the office. I feel like that going back is teaching you how to balance. And I think that when you balance and you balance that type of energy, you're going to do very well going back into the office. I also need to take a look at the positive side of going back into the office. Yes, it's, energy can be more chaotic, but there's also a deliciousness there with working with people. And you may, I can see you like, well, there's not really anything delicious there. I literally felt you frown. Rachel, you're so cute. There's also a deliciousness there as well. And I think that being able to acknowledge both sides of the coin, and literally spirit just flipped a coin, um with head you win, right? Like, it's just like it's how you flip the coin. And what you want to acknowledge with on both sides of the coin. I need to acknowledge both sides of the coin and balance it. I know there's a lot of questions here that I haven't gotten to yet. I could literally hang out with you guys all day. And there's got to be a way of doing a marathon, and we need to do a marathon someday of messages where we just kind of hang out and chill out and do this all day. Thank you, Lana. I'm feeling exactly where I should be. Good job. I love how you acknowledge that. I feel spirit around me. I stayed from letting go and trusting spirit for a while, but it's reassuring knowing spirit never forgets us. Actually, I want to jump all over that. I'm going to take another minute or two. I really got clock. I want to jump all over that. The reason is I totally understand what you're saying. I have had my own experiences where it's like, okay, guys, I'm out. I've done that. I have done that. I know it was several years ago. I literally signed out, and it was like, I can't. I can't. I didn't last very long because I miss spirit so much. But when I kind of changed my perspective with, I'm learning this right now, and I need to learn this right now for myself, and I need to navigate through these lessons. And when I got a deeper understanding about, the soul's journey, and when I kind of tapped into that and the experiences that I had, and when, spirit said to me one time, and I'll never forget this as long as I live. I'll never forget, well, it's been said more than once, but at a very critical time in my life, spirit said to me, how much do you trust? And have you always been okay? Are you still here? And I chuckle because, I remember laughing at myself with, yeah, I'm still here. And with learning the lessons and my own soul's growth, it got me to where that if I didn't trust, I wouldn't be where I am at today. And where I'm at today, I can't imagine right now in this red hot moment, I can't imagine myself any other place. I can't. Even when I look back at, the incredible nursing career, when I look back at past relationships, when I look back at all that learning, I can't even imagine not doing what I do now. And I resisted this journey for a very long time. We've talked about that here. I resisted this. I went kicking and screaming for a little bit until I finally just free fell and just trusted the whole process and allowed it. And I truly get what you're saying. The universe doesn't forget us. And I think that when we do our own work and when we kind of saddle up into the learning experience without the fear and really putting down, what if I'm wrong, what if I'm going the wrong way, what if this, what if that, if we just free fall into that trust, because spirit has asked me that at every single hard moment of my life, how much do you trust? And it's a big one, right? It is a big one. Let us jump into the angel number book and the spirit animal book because I really got to go. Set some intentions on what we need to know. 419. You and your angels are working together on the fruition of your divine life purpose. Stay in prayerful contact and communication with the angels so you'll always know the best step to take next. So the universe is supporting us, right? Whether you use the word angels and guides, spirit, the universe, whatever language you use, working together, right? I love that so much. Stay in prayerful contact. That's what the communication. That doesn't whatever prayerful contact means to you. It can just simply be chatting. It can simply be meditation. It can be, if praying is the way that you work with spirit. It's, whatever communication you use, whatever communication tool that works for you, uh, you know, continue with that. Um, I love that last sentence too. With the angels, so you'll always know the best step to take next. Love that. Love that so much. All right. What do we need to know? What do we need to know? Of course. Of course. You're about to embark on an unexpected adventure and will have to move very quickly once it's initiated. It's time to free yourself. There, what word did I use earlier today? What did I channel? Authentic freedom. It's time oh, sorry. It's time to free yourself from those physical and emotional constricting aspects of your life. You need to call upon the reserves of stamina and strength to get through ordeals. You're much more powerful than you think you are. I love that. It's because it's true. The situation requires strong warrior energy, balance with sensitivity, patience, and compassion. Teamwork with family, friends, and community is important right now. I love that so much. I am here Friday morning. We will do Ask the Medium Friday. I didn't get to all the questions here today, so if you're able to join us on Friday morning, let's hang out Friday morning for a bit before I work. Oh, I just want to chit chat a little bit because I mentioned it on last week sometime. I mentioned I was going to take a look at how I was going to do the channeling for the summer. And I took it to spirit. So as I take everything, I went to spirit and I said, this is what we're doing. Should I just do a monthly update for the month? And spirit gave me a hard no. So what I know, and I was like, okay, but how am I going to do this? So what I'm going to do from the timelines that I'm away is I'm going to channel. So I am away. I'm going to Ireland. I leave July. I think it's the 17th. I'm going to do a block for while I'm gone with an energy update. So I'm going to do a 2-week energy update, and I'm going to go with the flow. I'm going to try and go. I am bringing my laptop and my mic when I go to Ireland. I am going to try and go live from the castle and from different locations. I'm going to try. And if I can't, I am going to film it and I will upload it when I get back. So I'm going to allow, and I'm going to go with the flow because I everything I do, I take the spirit. I thought I would do monthly updates, spirit gave or energy updates, and spirit gave me a hard no. Spirit wants me to shorten that gap with allowing the energy to work with my schedule. So that's what I'm going to do because I trust that much. Um, so August, I am away a fair bit. Again, I will do it in blocks. So if I'm home for a week, I'll come on like I normally do Monday, Wednesday, Friday. If I'm going to be gone for a period of time, I will do the channeling live for a 2-week block or a 1-week block. I'm just going to go with the flow with it. And I do like that idea because I wasn't sure how I would cope with not seeing you guys. Anyway, that's how I'm going to manage it. That's what spirit said to do. So I'm going to trust that. Okay. So it will be the energy updates will be, and I will always share when I'm not going to be here. And I will share that the energy update is for this time period. Okay. If you enjoyed your time with me, thumbs up. I'm wishing you a great Wednesday, Thursday. I'll see you Friday. And we are coming into a holiday for our American friends. So happy 4th of July. I hope that you enjoy your time as I did for Canada Day. So that will be how I end the live today. As always, I'm wishing you love, light, blessings, and have a spirit guided day. Take care, you guys.